Hey everyone, I'm here to do a review of Monday Night Raw that just ended about 45 minutes ago. Actually, about 40 minutes ago, let's just say that way. And I have to say it was probably one of the best Raws I've seen all year in quite some time. I mean, to me, it just, it had a pay-per-view feel to it. That's how good it was. Um, and the way it was being produced and shown, and it was like it had that pay-per-view environment. I mean, last time Monday Night Raw was there at Madison Square Garden, um, they used the regular Raw entrance, the regular Raw stage ramp and everything. They didn't do that this time. No, they actually used the entranceway which they used during the pay-per-views, like WrestleMania or uh, or the Royal Rumble, things like that. They used that instead, and they had the new theme song, then they had the new opening. It just had that special feeling, and wow, it was just unbelievable. And I have to say, overall, the show was pretty good. I mean, you had the Miz against MVP, and I think MVP. Well, of course, MVP he lost that match, and I think they're trying to build Miz up as a huge star. I mean, give him credit for that, whether you like the guy or not. They're trying to build him up as a huge star, and um, so we'll find out how much they're pushing him because coming this Sunday is that Survivor Series match, his team against Morrison's team. So we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, you had the typical Chavo deal. Chavo took on Santino, and Santino had all these jerseys and got a huge pop with the final jersey that he had, which was the Yankees jersey. And Santino ended up winning, beating Chavo and Hornswoggle because of Hornswoggle's distraction. Then DX comes out and basically says that, hey, we're not going to plug our stuff, even though they kind of work it in, typical DX, plugging in the book and everything, and then they toss it to Sherry Shepherd. But then they call out Hornswoggle, and this was, oh man, this reminded me so much in a way, not as vicious, not as mean, but sort of in a way, it reminded me of about 7 years ago when Triple H set up Shawn Michaels and he pedigreed him and all that. But it was a more of a fun DX kind of style. I mean, they set Hornswoggle up and pedigreed him and stretched him out on the board. So I don't really know where they're going with this. I don't know if Hornswoggle is going to be the reason, they lose this Sunday. I don't really know where WWE is going with this, honestly. Um, but overall, it was a good match. We had the Divas title match between Melina and Alicia, and I like how they're trying to build up Alicia as the next top heel on Raw since Beth Phoenix went to SmackDown. I like how they're doing that, and we find out that it's a lumberjill match, and they have this guy from 30 Rock. I can't think it was Judah. I think his name is, from 30 Rock, coming in and doing the announcing, and then he announces it's a lumberjill match. And what do they do? Well, lumberjill match. All the ladies, all the divas that are going to be on the Divas Survivor Series match are out there. And overall, it was a pretty decent Divas match. Melina does win. Because I think I don't know what she reversed off of Alicia, but she reversed it right into that new finisher of hers, which is similar to the Canadian Destroyer, but instead of landing on your head, you land on your back. So, and then you had an All Divas brawl. You had Michelle McCool starting it by attacking Melina, and then you had all the Divas and Mickey's team, basically, which consists of Melina, Gail, Kelly, let's see, herself, Gail, Kelly, Melina, and Eve. Yeah, Eve. They won their match. I mean, they not won the match, but they cleared the ring, still victorious. And then, of course, you had Piper coming out and doing a typical Piper promo and calling out Vince McMahon. Vince comes out and basically Vince and him kind of trade exchanges, insults, and all that typical Vince and typical McMahon Piper situation. And Piper basically says, "Hey, you know, if you've got the guts, meet me in this ring later on." So, um, so that's what he does. He challenges him to a match. Then the next match we have is, well, actually we have Sheamus come out, I think, next, and he basically wants anybody to come out and face him, and when they don't, he attacks, I don't know, a production guy, and throws him across the announce table, and while King is trying to attend to this guy, he gets kicked in the head by Sheamus, and so that allows Matt Striker, who was obviously there just to watch the show, to come in and substitute for the King. And then we have our next match, which is Jack Swagger and Evan Bourne. And J-Dub, you talk about, you know, WWE building up new stars. They're building up new stars right here with these two, kind of creating a rivalry with them. And, you know, Evan won last week, and this week Jack wins. So, you know, it was a good match. And then, of course, we had Piper coming out for his, I think, his fight with McMahon. Instead of McMahon, he gets Orton, and they have a little bit of a fight with Orton dominating. And Kofi comes out, and they ended up fighting all over the place. One of the best out of control fights, unscheduled fights, I guess you could say, that I've seen in a while. It just had that atmosphere to it, and then the way it ended with him hitting that boom drop off the, I guess, off the railing in that, I don't know what row it was, onto Orton on the table. It's like, you know, they are definitely building up Kofi to be a big star. So definitely a good segment there. They got to keep that up every now and then. You know, either it's at a pay-per-view or on Raw, SmackDown, even ECW. They got to, you know, continue with something like that every now and then to, you know, freshen it up. And then, of course, we had our main event, which was DX versus Jericho and Undertaker and Cena. And, you know, you had typical Jericho, Cena, and DX entrances, but when the Undertaker came out, it's like his entrance, that's normally saved for a pay-per-view. But, you know, you had the Druids and everything. It was just unbelievable. And it was a good it was a good match, you know, short for the time it had, about 10-15 minutes. But it was a good match. I mean, good, you know, stare downs and everything. I mean, the moment I liked the most, because I knew this was going to happen, after Triple H had spine busted Undertaker to the mat with such impact that it forced him basically to back up into his corner, you have Shawn sticking out his hand to Triple H saying, "Tag me in. I want." He basically sticks out his hand to Triple H to tag him in, and he tags him in, and Shawn's got this look on his face. He takes off the armbands, or the wristbands of DX, the sweatbands, of the DX sweatbands, gets in the ring with the Undertaker and stares him down, and you can almost hear, I think, the ovation that the applause and ovation the fans were giving because this is something that WWE can really build on. I mean, this is a rivalry, despite the fact that they're on different shows, that WWE can really build on for the next year or so, you know. But, you know, it's like you just had them staring down, and people were like cheering, like, "Oh, right, here we go again, WrestleMania all over again." You know, except Big Show came in and speared the Undertaker after, you know, after Undertaker, I think, tried to catch Shawn, and I think maybe bounce him off the top rope or something, and he speared him. And overall, it was a good match. Not Jericho, but Cena and Undertaker win when Cena uses the attitude adjustment on Triple H. But then Taker, I guess, because Cena had tagged himself in, just as, you know, it looked like Taker was having control of the match. Taker, I think, out of, I guess you could say out of reflex or just out of, you know, anger, saying, "Hey, you know, you took away my opportunity." It's like I had control. I guess a reflex, if you will, reaction. You know, after the match, tombstones John Cena in the middle of Madison Square Garden. But overall, it was a good Monday Night Raw. Like I said, one of the best they've ever done in a long time. I mean, just to know that this was a Raw that a lot of fans would tune in and talk about for a while. And excuse me for a second. But yeah, for them to tune in and talk about for a while. But anyway, that's my review on Monday Night Raw for November 15th. Oh no, 16th. And I will be back with probably another video with my Survivor Series predictions. And I'll talk to you all later.